Okay, welcome back. Uh, Good evening or good morning. Hello, all. Once again, again. Hi, this is at another Mastery Learning portal. So, it's created by us just to help students or experts or anyone who would like to learn coding and would like to crack software engineering interviews. So the our primary focus is on like a programming concepts, design pattern and clean code, system design concepts, and mentorship program. You can reach us in any. You can directly reach us on from the contact us form, or you can go to any of our um, open source portal, either like a GitHub, or you can email us, or you can directly go to LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook. You can directly ping us. So would like to help and collaborate with you. So let's jump into our code. So as you know, this slide for to solve Leetcode problems. So our focus for now is especially easy programs. Slowly we will jump into medium level. So let's go to the question. So the problem, the next easy problem statement is longest common prefix. So write a function to find longest common prefix string among an array of strings. If there is no common prefix, return an empty string. So here's an example, like the input strings are like a flower, flow, flight. So if you see the prefix, common prefix between first two strings is FLOW, flow, right? Flow is existent flower and flow too. Then when you see the third one, the common prefix is FL because there is no O and W in flight. So it's like a flow, FL. So the common prefix is FL. So coming to second example, where input strings dog, racecar, car. So there is no common prefix. You can see that the first character in the first string is a D, and race car, the first character is R, and car, the first character is C. So all these three first characters are different. So you don't need to check further level. You can skip. Okay. So here is the constraints, like the number of strings, the input strings, whatever the strings they pass. The length is around like a 200, so not more than 200. And each string, the length is between 0 to 200. So, and the another constraint is a string I consists of only lower English letters. So if you see this question in any of the interview, like if interviewer doesn't provide any of these constraints, the immediate question, first question you have to ask here is like, is case sensitive, or do I need to consider capital A and small a both are same? What I mean here is, if a given input is ABC, and if the first input is, the given array of inputs are like ABC and capital A, small bc, then do you consider ABC as a prefix string, or is it the same characters? A small a and capital A both are same. Can I consider as a same, or no? Then if they say like they are case sensitive, then this is gonna be empty string. The result is empty string, right? Because capital A and small a are not same case sensitive. If it is a case insensitive, if they say like, okay, this, for this case you have to display that, you have to display the result as like ABC, then idle case here is like you have to first convert your strings to two lowercase, then you can compare one by one. Got it? That's a problem here. But in the constraint itself, they mention like only lower English letters, so you don't need to worry about converting uppercase at lowercase approach. So pretty much everything comes into lowercase. The second question you can ask is like is it always alphabets? Like the given input strings are always alphabets, or it can contains with numbers or spaces. What I mean here is like, if they say like there is a chances that spaces or something can be available, then do you consider MA space T and MAT, or like is it the same? Do you need to remove the spaces? So if they add such kind of conditions, like the spaces are allowed and the numbers are allowed, or like special characters are allowed and you have to remove it, then it's a bit complex. You have to write a regular expression and remove those. But usually ideally in your interview, they don't, it's expected that like most of the cases they don't add you that, they will tell you that like there is no spaces, no extra characters. It's a pure alphabets. Those are also A to Z small characters. Okay, yeah, this is the constraint which it mentioned in third one. Okay, so that these questions when you are okay, so let's talk about 2 minutes like why do we need to ask questions before stepping into your before you write a code. See, any of your usually in a software life cycle, in your day-to-day life cycle, or any project comes into like if your manager allocate your project, or manager allocate your task, or to fix some issues or anything like that, the immediate first question, you have to understand the requirements, right? So if someone says like, okay, can you fix a bug, first you need to understand like what is the actual business case, what is the requirement. So that is what the constraints which you need to focus. So in interview, when people ask you interview question, requirements, gathering the requirements is the first phase. And the second one, ideally, like once you get the requirements, you have to write you go think about inputs and output. What is the format you need? What is the input format? What is the output format? Then come up with a pseudo code. Again, remember that you don't need to write pseudocode completely. You can verbally explain that pseudocode. Reason is, in your interview, hardly you will get like 30 minutes for writing the code, not more than that. Okay, why? Even though interviews are 1 hour, so you can think like a first 5 minutes is like your introduction and project related stuff. Then when you jump into the programming, so it's gonna be like around like a 30 minutes, maybe extra 5-10 minutes just for to write the test cases or covering the corner use cases and those things. And once you're done with that, then last 5-10 minutes you will discuss with the interviewer, and you can ask questions to interviewer like, what is the project requirements, or what kind of my day-to-day life cycle, like what is my roles and responsibilities, because each company can come with their own way of categorizing the roles. Okay, so that's why. So don't write the pseudocode. Only thing you need to remember is like you can explain in a verbal format, then you can jump into the real code, because you already have a verbal code or some theoretical part you have, so you can go with the code. You can think like this one is a theory, and whereas a code you can think like it's a practical, right? Because it's like a practical code or something. So once you're done with that coding part, so your immediate next operation is a testing. So again, when you are doing the testing, the first round never ever directly run. First round do a manual testing, which means you go through the code and to read code top to bottom, take one example and do that, then go the next phase, which is basically like go running the code, because when you run in the code, the computer gives you the result. Okay, that's why. Okay, so first go with the manual approach, then go with running approach, which is like take help of computer and do it. So once you're done this step, if time supports, go and extend your code, like adding some corner cases, corner use cases, or like if it is any null pointer checks or any exception handling, those kind of things you can do. If time supports, write some unit test cases too, like what kind of unit test cases you write. Otherwise, explain verbally like what kind of unit test cases you will do, like for given requirement. Okay, that's what a high level view of like an interview. So once you do this one, that's it. This will give a very good impression on your interview. Okay, so back to our question, which is basically like finding a longest common prefix. So here, if you think about the question, it means longest common prefix means continuous characters, those are prefix, and it is a common in all the strings, right? If you write in this pattern, like a vertically, if you write vertically, you can clearly see that, right? You can clearly see that FL is a common, the common prefix for all these three, right? FL. If only inputs are these two, then common prefix is FLOW, right? Because this is a common one, and apparently this is the second, the common one is a FLOW here. But if you go to the third one, if it is a FL, because there is no O and W one, so ideally the response here is FL, right? So how do we can do this one? Okay, so let's go back to this one. Yeah. Okay, so if you think about our both, same pattern as our input interview pattern, first we need to ask the requirements. We already did that part, right? We asked like a what is the string contains, like is it a alphabets, or is it gonna contain like any special characters or space is allowed, those kind of inputs requirement. The next one, input output, you can clearly see that input is a string array and output is another string, which is like a longest common prefix. Got it? Sometimes interviewer can trick you, like you can ask like a length of the common longest prefix or something like that. Then you have to specify the return type as an integer here, integer or long, something like that. Okay, so that's what our inputs and outputs. Now let's come to this a pseudo verbal coding approach. So what I'm gonna do, if we think about a pseudo verbal code approach, so here comes to the constraint, right? So by observing these three, I can see that one thing we can come up from the conclusion that a longest common prefix, it's not gonna be more than smallest string. So what I mean here, if you consider the inputs of flower and flower, so the longest common result here is a FLOW, flow. And if you observe, the length of longest common prefix is it's not gonna be more than the smallest length, right? Here length is 6, here length is a 4. So if you see, the common prefix will, that's true, right? Like a common prefix will not gonna go beyond the smallest string. That's one observation, right? So our longest common prefix is not going to, it's not, let's do like this one. The length of longest common prefix is always lesser than equals to smallest string, right? Length of smallest string in the input. That's correct, right? Length of this smallest string in the input, because you cannot extend further than that. That's what here, one good observation. Now coming back to the next one. So if you can find that, means like if you find shortest string in a given input, right, then you can apply your logic individually and compare character by character and check what is the common prefix. What I mean here, like what I'm trying to say in a verbally, like from the smallest string, from the smallest input string, whatever the smallest input string is there, from smallest input string, compare character by character with all other strings. That's it. If you compare each character to all other strings, then you will get the longest common prefix. So here, if it is, the same pattern, if we apply to the third one also, flight, when we add flight, the same approach will follow here, right? Flight is a 6 characters, and if you observe, the smallest string is a flow and the length is 4. So this is gonna be our smallest one. Let me put another color. Oh, okay. Somehow this is not changing individual color, but yeah, that's okay. Let's go to this one. Oh, start. That's fine. Yeah. So now what we wanted to do here is, now you got the smallest string, which is a flow, is the smallest string. Then compare this flow with each individual string, character by character. So now let us assume we are going from top to bottom. So F is there in F, and L is also there, L. So L will be there, and then O is there, and then W is there. So W is there, right? So then for now, until this current one, this is the longest common prefix result. You don't need to compare this string. Yes, right? You don't need, even though you compare, you will get that flow. That's it. Now when we are comparing the next string, like a flight, so you compare with F, L is there, L, but when it is coming O, the I is, O and I is not equals. So for now, current longest common prefix is FL. So replace with our FLOW with FL. Okay. So let's write this code and see that how our approach is going on. So what I'm gonna do, sometimes when you explain this verbal explanation, your interviewer will immediately jump into question. They will ask like, what is the time complexity? Explain how much time complexity it's gonna take, or how much memory complexity it will gonna occupy. For this case, what is the time complexity? So first for loop, I will write to find the smallest string. So that's gonna be order of n, because n is here, n is number of input strings. Okay, so this is gonna be order of n for to find smallest string. In the next loop, what I'm gonna do, I need to compare with the smallest string with all other strings, right? So then that is gonna be another extra use case, plus m star n. What is the m here? M is length of smallest input string, right? So because you have to compare that smallest string with all other strings, right? One by one, character by character. So once you get that, that is what your longest common prefix, right? Let's write the code and then see like how we can solve that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write the first for loop. String str is, I'm writing a for each loop. I'm going to put string smallest. Okay, so first let us write a null pointer exceptions. If string s equals to null, or string s dot length equals to 0, then just return null. That's it. So if there is no input strings or no either given input is a null or length is 0, then just return null. Now when I'm coming to this one, the smallest one, I'm gonna fetch the first string, which is nothing but 0th index, as a smallest one. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here individually, I will check if, okay, let's do this way, int smallest length equals to, let's put smallest string smallest length, or let's go with a variable like a length equals to dot length length. Got it. Okay, now what I'm going to do here individually, I will check with the string dot length if each individual string dot length is a lesser than our actual length. Okay, if it is lesser than okay, let me do this way rather than keeping in a length. Let's do this way, it's not required. Okay, so if it is lesser than that value, I'm gonna replace that string with the given string. So what I mean here is, like in this example, I will take a flower as, the 0th indexed string, which is a flower. The 6 characters I will consider as a smallest string. When I'm reading one by one, so in the second case, like when I'm reading first flower is 6, even our current longest string length is also 6, so I don't replace it. When it comes to 4 flower, flow 4 comes, then what I can do here is, like I can just make it that length is lesser, like a 4 is less than 6, so I will replace that smallest string with this flow. Okay, so that's the way I will do that. So if you do this after this operation, you can see that system.out.println, this is just explanation purpose I'm using it. Okay, yeah, this is the smallest string. Now what I will do next step, I'm gonna write let's do this way, another for loop. Okay, for int I equals to 0, I less than strings dot length I plus plus. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here, so I already have smallest string, right? The smallest string for now. Now I'm gonna compare each character by character. Then I will make a current value. So what I mean here is, I will put a string buffer current common prefix. Okay, now I'm gonna do it this way. Current common prefix. Okay, if current common prefix equals to let's do this way. For each string, first I will take that corresponding string index. I'm gonna compare one by one each character from the smallest string. Let's do this way. Okay, so let's compare character by character for each one. Let's put it into that string buffer if it is equals. So smaller string dot get 1 second. Okay. J equals to 0, j less than smaller string dot length plus j plus plus. So for now, where I'm gonna compare if char at the given index position is equals to smaller string dot char at j. If the both are equals, like each character wise character equals, then I'm gonna add that to append to okay. It's instead of writing this way, I think we can write a while loop. It is easier one. Okay, 1 second. Let me refactor later time, but let's go this way. If it is just adding that at index position I. Okay, now if it is else, I'm gonna do a break statement. Okay, let's do this. So I'm just making this and yeah. So first what I'm doing, oops, 1 second. Let's do this one. Control X. Yeah. So I'm looking until so j must be less than smallest string length, and until these characters are not equals, I'm keep on appending those characters one by one. So once if it is not equals, so I'm keep on adding those things to current common prefix, right? So I'm checking here if current common prefix dot size or length, okay, if that current common prefix size length is lesser than our smallest string, okay, if it is a lesser than, then I'm setting this smallest string equals to current prefix dot toString because it's a string builder. Okay, so every time I'm doing this operation, I need to set these values. So yeah, here, sorry about that, I need to do that j plus plus, here character j, yeah. So here too character j, I need to reset this one. Got it. So what I'm trying to do, I will walk through that code. That is what our next phase, like after our code is done, what we need to do here is like we need to walk through code, right? Like testing both manual and using computer or like a runtime. I will do that part. While I'm doing, I will verify whether my approach is correct. Then once I'm done with the smallest string, I'm gonna return that smallest string. Okay, so what I'm doing here, let me walk through that. So for a given input, say flower, flow, and flight. So you know that the smallest string will give result here as a flow. Now I'm going one by one inputs from each string. So initial string is a flower. So j is 0, current common prefix is a reset, which means like it's a empty string. Okay, now it goes to here. J is a less than smallest string length. For now, the smallest string is a flow where the length is 4. And we are doing that, getting that corresponding string and character of j and smallest string dot character of j. Okay, it's until it's not equals. So in the flower, the first character, it start comparing one by one, flower with flow. So j is initially 0, so it checks with f and it checks with f. Both are, one second, until both are equals. If equals, yeah, both are equals, it's a true, then go inside, append that corresponding character, which means append f. Okay, and then increase the j become 1. 1 means L. L equals to smallest string of L. L and L are equal, so it will append L. Then j plus plus, j will be 2. It is a O, and here is also O equals, that will go O here. J will be, previously j is 2, now j will be 3. 3 is less than 4, that goes to here. W and W both are equals. Set that W here. Okay, then go j plus plus, which is a 4, then go inside, it checks it, 4 lesser than smallest string length. This is false, right? 4 less than 4. So once it is failed, that come back. Then it goes to if condition. It checks the current common prefix length. So right now the current common prefix length is 4, and as well as a smallest string is also, which is a flow, which is a 4. So it doesn't go inside at indent, it's go to the next one. So in the next one, it is a flow, right? So it start comparing flow with flow. Obviously both are same, so it will end up with a flow, then both comes with a 4 less than 4. So same way it will go to the next one, which is nothing but flight. Okay, so when it comes to the flight, until now the smallest string is a flow. Let's come to flight. Let us see this guy. So initially j is 0, common prefix dot reset is double quotes, empty string. Now go here, checks that the first character f and f both are same. It go inside, it append only f. Okay, now j plus plus, j will be 1. Okay, then it goes to second character, that is nothing but first character. Array starts with the 0th character, right? So first character, which is L, L both are same, that will append L here, then j will be 2. Now again coming back to while loop, it goes to third character, but in an index position 2. So I and O both are not equals, so it end that while loop. After that, once it end up, The current common prefix which is holding right now is a FL, and that length is a 2, which is nothing but FL, and for the current smallest string is a FLOW, then that smallest string will be set to current common prefix. That will return to smallest string. That's it. So let's run this code. There could be some bugs, or maybe I try to use string buffer. Probably that I'm not sure about reset method is really there, or like how do we can reset that. Let's see that. See, there are a few errors. Strings method length, variable string of type array. So its length is not there. Maybe length is this method. And let's see, yeah, string dot length common dot prefix reset is not there. Yeah, let's try to run this code. Let's see again. Yep, length is not a method, it is a variable. That's good. In the array. Now coming to reset, I'm not sure about reset one. Let's do this way. String buffer API. Let's go maybe this 7th version or 8th version. Reset. There is a append operation. Maybe to string, substring, subsequence. It was there is no. Okay, let's check one more time. String builder or string buffer, either of them. So if it is not there, only way we can do is like we again reinitialize with a new string buffer. Let's do that way. Let's reinitialize with a new string buffer. Okay, let's put directly here. See, the smallest string is a flow, and our expected output and result is same. Let's comment this part. Let's submit this code. There could be some runtime errors or anything like that. Boom. So this is one of the approach which we can solve. Now, is there any other approach? Okay. Okay, so I haven't yet subscribed to Unlock, but let's yeah, this is what one of the solution which popped in my mind, so that's what I did. So there could be multiple solutions. One of the solution which is, while writing the code, I'm thinking about another solution which is basically like we can sort all the strings in alphabetical order, dictionary format order. That will go with the top to bottom. Like usually if you sort it, the another approach, if we sort flower, flow and flight, once by end of the sort operation, you will get like flight, flow, flower. Yeah, this is the pattern you will get. Alpha numeric order. Or another way what we can do, I was just thinking that can we sort it based on the length? Either of this order is fine. Like once we sort it, is there any way we can get that information? Yeah, so the other way if you stuck with Leetcode solutions, or like if you are not able to solve, or if you're not able to come up with an approach, other alternative I will propose is like go to discussion, check that if anybody submitted any solutions. Let's see this Java solution which somebody has submitted. Let's go to there, see that what is the pattern they followed. See, this is the order of n square. Probably it's like a brute force approach. Yeah, he's taking that one of the string as a prefix, and he's looking into each character by character and keep on increasing that. And once we get that, he's getting that substring of that information and setting it to prefix. Yeah, this is not a good solution, because it gonna take each string by string comparison. Ideally, we are also doing string by string comparison. This is nothing much new. I mean, pretty much our approach is also same as like this. Let's see if there is any other approaches, so that we can get some idea and try to solve it. Yeah, looks like somebody did the same approach. Here they are doing that arrays.sort operation, which is doing that sorting of this string and taking that s1 as, I mean, the first 0th character string as s1. And yeah, again they're taking the same way, index of s1 for each characters one by one, and the length they're comparing one by one and fetching that substring. Now this is also pretty much same way what we did. We wrote, I mean, instead of sorting, which is order of n log n sorting approach, and then they're doing one by one comparison. Order of n log n is the hash time complexity here. So, but we did a bit different way. We just our approach is like finding the smallest string first and then going string by string comparison until that smallest character. I mean, only that length, not more than that. There could be some other things also. There is another data structure is there, which is called there is another data structure. We mostly use it, trice. Trice data structure we can use, and we can, while preparing each string by string, we can use that trice. Like flow is a one string, and then flower is a one string, we can keep it in trice, and second string flow, and then when we are doing the flight, you can fetch that first two strings and keep it that too. Yeah, trice will give a bit different way. It gonna, I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a bit complex one. So this is what my approach, like character by character comparison for each one. Yeah, that's it for today. Feel free to let us know if you have any questions, anything. Yeah, you can reach us on from our portal or any of the social network. Thank you for your time and have a great day. See you soon.